Hi, I'm Kylie, and did you know early prisons were the origin for the modern treadmill?
Ooh, I didn't know that. Hi. Hi, I'm Craig, and I don't want to visit Cell D.
Hi, I'm Shandy, and despite all my rage, I'm still just a squirrel in a cage.
Hell yeah.
And this is Seance with My Siblings, Prison and Jails Edition. Haunted Prison
Haunted.
and Jails Edition.
Ooh.
Welcome to the seance.
I'm not on the top of my game.
Your ghost came a little too
My
early.
ghost, the paid intern ghost came too early or more. Okay, guys.
Okay.
I have something special for us to do.
I'm so excited.
We have an activity.
We have an activity. It is a Mad Lib called Afraid of the Dark.
I'm so excited.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Shandy, give me a plural noun.
Roses. Roses.
Roses. Okay, Kylie, give me a verb ending in ing.
Thrusting.
Oh!
Yes.
Okay, Shandy, give me a noun.
Dog.
Doggo.
Hey, Shadow.
Kylie, a noun.
A noun, person, place, or thing. Okay.
Mood.
Abraham Lincoln.
Uh-huh. Okay, give me a part of the body, Shandy. Any part of the body.
Earlobe.
Earlobe. A plural noun, Kylie.
Rabbits.
Okay.
I'm so scared right now.
Shandy's are all like gentle and peaceful.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
I'm so excited.
Okay, give me a noun.
Me?
Shandy.
Washington.
Washington. Okay, Kylie, a verb ending in ing.
I love these. Squirting.
Oh no.
Moistening.
Moistening.
That one's better. Do that one.
Moistening?
Moistening.
Gross. I love it.
A part of the body, plural. Shandy.
Butts.
Butts.
Nice.
Oh.
Okay, Kylie, a verb ending in ing.
Yes! Let's do squirting for this one.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, that was so aggressive.
That's hilarious. Okay.
It's been a long day
It
already.
has.
Poor Kylie.
A noun, Shandy.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Ooh. Okay, a noun, Kylie.
Taco truck.
Hell yeah. A part of the body, Shandy.
Weenus.
Weenus. An adverb, Kylie.
Adverb. That's like a motion word, right?
A verb is like
An
describes.
adverb.
I don't know what an adverb is anymore.
I haven't done a language class in 10 years.
Same.
A word that modifies or describes a bird. So yeah, like an action word. Okay, so...
Like shopping or
Yeah.
quickly.
Running.
Extremely.
Flatteringly.
Flatteringly.
Okay, and the last one, part of the body, plural.
You
Oh,
get
is
it?
that me again?
Yes! Give us another body part.
A plural?
Plural.
Ball sacks.
Sick.
Alright, you guys, you're in for a treat.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
This is the Mad Lib, Afraid of the Dark. I was home alone and scared out of my roses. I could hear the wind thrusting. and off in the distance, a dog was howling.
Oh, hey!
I crossed the room, locked the Abraham Lincoln, and climbed into bed, pulling the rabbits over my earlobe. Then it happened. I could hear a Washington moistening. Up the stairs, my butt started to chatter, and my knees began squirting.
My knees squirt.
The Rumpelstiltskin was thrust open, and there was a huge taco truck with hair all over his weenus. It was my father. Hi, we're home, he said. Oh, God.
My nose is running. My eyes are running.
Oh my
He
god.
said flatteringly. Hope you weren't afraid of staying home alone. No, I said, lying through my ball sack.
Sir, you are lying through your ball sacks
are.
right now.
The wind is thrusting and you're lying through your ball sacks.
My knees are squirting.
My knees are squirting. Oh my god.
God.
Oh, that was good.
That was good.
Oh my
My
god.
cheeks hurt.
Was any of that intelligible through our laughter?
I'm so sorry.
It was, definitely.
Oh, that was good.
That was good.
Oh, shitballs.
Thanks, Craig.
Yeah, thank you. Hell yeah, guys.
What a fun activity.
That was
was
a
fun.
fun activity.
Now tell us your spoopiness
Oh my
that's been
God.
happening.
Oh yeah, ghost
Yes.
updates.
Ghost
Ghost
updates.
Bam,
Ghost updates.
Oh yeah, I love that. So, we did talk about a couple things a while back, and I contributed to some of the weird things that have been happening. Okay. So first of all, I did go on a fun little date. It was amazing.
Aw.
Yes.
Are you in love?
Yes, it was so good, so fun. But his car did start smoking. And
Greg!
yeah, I know. We were idling, just chilling, so we went up to the Y to like
Oh.
kind of look out.
To just look
the
out.
Y,
Oh,
you know,
yes.
like the makeout cliff.
We're not making out. We were just like
Yeah.
gazing at the light.
Yeah,
Right,
definitely.
right.
With our eyes shut and our lips pressed together.
Yeah, exactly. Like you know how it is.
Yeah.
At the Y.
You gotta get it in at the Y.
Yeah. But we did end up having to leave there, and we went to like a park to just like keep chatting, and that's when the car started smoking. So there's that first instance.
Okay.
And then I was at his house again, and we heard the door open behind us.
What door? Like the front door?
Like, it's an apartment complex, and there's like a little balcony, and it has a
Oh.
French door and then a door going into his bedroom.
Oh shit.
And like, we heard the door open from his bedroom, but we went and like, we were like, what was that? Like, we both looked, and we went and checked
shit.
it out, and nothing was open. And that was just like weird as shit, because like, we heard the door distinctly open. It was like loud.
Does he have a roommate?
No, it's all
It's
alone.
Just him?
Uh-huh.
So there's no one there that could be like...
There was no one else there. Yeah.
It was just your roommate.
Uh-huh. And we were about to
Your
start
roommate.
watching The Children of the Corn, which The new one, it was so wild.
Was it
Like, there's
good?
like the corn. We got halfway through
Haven't seen that.
and it did not finish. We need
I
to
wonder
finish
why.
it still. Yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
You were playing hide the cob.
Oh my god.
That's a fun game, though.
Oh,
Playing
yeah.
Tickle the Pickle.
Tickle the pickle. Yeah.
Where your
No.
penis is hairy.
Were your knees squirting?
I
No.
can't. I'm dying.
Yeah, and that was just like the weird things that happened. And I was like, okay,
Haunted
very
spooky
interesting,
date.
haunted, spooking dates. Yeah, it was like so weird though that all was like happening. He was like, weird stuff never happens to me. I'm like, it's me.
You're
I'm,
like,
I'm haunted. I brought this
Sorry,
upon us. Yeah.
this is my fault.
Yeah, I'm the problem. It's me.
Hi.
You know, when I walk into a room and all the electronics melt, and I'm like,
the lights all flicker on and off.
sorry, that was me.
Yes.
That's my fault. I'll be showing myself out now.
Yeah. Oh lord. But yeah, it was just like wild that was all like happening.
That is wild.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Like especially after.
So, does he ever want to see you again?
Yeah, he's actually really sweet and fun. Yeah.
You'll
definitely.
have to tell us more about him offline.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
The tea.
Yes. He did say I could share that story though, so like
Oh.
we're Gucci.
But
He said he was
his
listening.
identity is
Aw.
anonymous.
Yes.
Oh, he shouldn't listen to this. Oh. Anyway.
Hi.
I don't know if he has similar humor than we're chill.
Oh yeah, he
But-
definitely has a very
Oh,
similar humor.
then he should
so,
listen.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okie dokie.
Thanks, Craig.
Yeah.
That's creepy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
Happened.
So, today, for your ear hole pleasure, we're talking about haunted jails and prisons.
Yay.
And prisons and jails.
Hell yeah.
And I'm bringing to you the haunted squirrel cage.
Ooh.
I'm excited to hear about this.
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. A squirrel.
Squirrel.
Daddy, I want a squirrel.
Ooh.
Sorry. Anyway, this jail is not only historic, but is iconic in the most sinister way.
Ooh.
Some A+ writing there.
Hell yeah.
Slay, Shandy, slay.
The design of this specter-filled institution makes it unnerving from the jump. It was built in 1885 when the squirrel cage design was in vogue. According to U.S. Ghost Adventures, the jail was so innovative it was declared a 19th century marvel. The basic idea behind the design was that the cells were all located on a central roundabout that would spin at the turn of a hand crank
Ooh.
so that only one inmate's holding area could be accessed at the time. So it's like
Oh, that's
a
wild.
big Victorian building. It's gorgeous. But on the inside, there's like a column of cells. And the bars around it only have one opening on that floor to the inmate cells. So you have to have a hand crank to move where the opening is to get to the inmate cell who you're going to let out.
That's wild.
That is wild.
So not only are you in this horrible little windowless cell in the center of a building, but the only way out has to be cranked over to you. So like you're doubly
That's
encaged.
I don't like
I
that.
hate it so much. And I think that's
I would
just
never go
cruel.
down.
They don't obviously do this anymore. Prisons are already awful enough. We don't need to make them worse.
No.
that gives me claustrophobia.
Yeah,
just thinking about
And
it.
like if
And I
anything
think-
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
you're fucked.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that
Not OSHA approved.
no. No, not humankind. Like, not approved for any living anything.
No.
Right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that
Anyway,
is awful.
yeah. So while most, let's see, blooply bloop. Yeah, while most of the rotary jails built around this time had only one level of cells, the jail in Council Bluffs was created with 3 stacked levels of holding cells. The collective effect of the tall cell structure made the jail appear... I'm sorry, I'm so phlegmy.
It's the
From allergies and laughing.
Yeah.
And laughing so hard I'm crying.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. So, the collective effect of the tall cell structure made the jail appear like some cage one might hold a small animal in, hence its popular nickname of Squirrel Cage Jails. The jail held inmates of all sorts. There was also an apartment that could house the warden. Sorry, this is me writing, and I hope it makes sense. I kept getting interrupted by children and husbands and dogs. And
A
cats.
child.
A child.
So, there was an apartment for the warden and their family, which in later years people refused to live in because of the footsteps heard above on the 3rd floor.
Ooh.
Yeah, people are like, fuck that haunted shit. No, thank
They're
you.
not about that.
No. One of the most infamous serial killers housed there, according to U.S. Ghost Adventures website, the Squirrel Cage Jail housed mass murderer Jake Bird, a transient who may have killed up to 46 people using either an axe or a hatchet.
Jesus Christ.
And spent 31 years in jail in Michigan, Iowa, and Utah. So I'm guessing in those 3 states that he was a total of 31 years. Obviously, he could not be that old to spend 31 years in each state.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
He's all like 1,000 years old.
Ooh.
At his trial, the killer put the Jake Bird hex on those he saw as involved in punishing him, saying they would die before he did. As the story goes, 6 people allegedly died, including the judge, who died within a month of the the court's chief clerk.
Dang.
2 police officers who took confessions, and the killer's lawyer, who died on the 1st anniversary of his sentencing.
That's wild.
What?
The bird was hung in 1949. So if you visit the jail, stay clear of the Jake Bird hex.
Ooh.
Right? Could you hand me my water, please, Chantel? Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Slurp, slurp.
Slurp, slurp.
Visitors on historical tours and ghost hunters alike have seen, of course, phone. Shadow figures, heard disembodied voices, and some have claimed to hear the voice of a little girl.
Ooh.
There's all sorts of EVPs they've gotten at this place. That seems to be like shadow people and EVPs.
Shadow's ears perk up every time you say her name.
Shadow, oh, it's a baby.
Shadow doggies.
While doing research for this, I was deeply saddened and disappointed by the internet.
Aww.
Mainly Reddit and yourghoststories.com. I could not for the life of me find any personal stories posted. I found YouTube shorts and videos that had EVPs and such, but I had a really hard time being interested in ghost hunters footage. I have a really hard time with the ghost boxes that flip through the radio stations, and they're all that noise. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it itches my brain like nails on a chalkboard.
Ooh, yeah,
So-
I get that.
My friends, that was the tale of the haunted Squirrel Cage Jail.
Hell
Spooky.
yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
spooky.
I guess that Jake Bird or whatever, the
Yeah.
serial killer, he's allegedly still there. There's like a warden that's still there. There was an inmate that was trying to scratch his name into the metal, and he was like reaching stupidly, and he fell from like the 3rd floor.
Oh my
and died.
gosh.
So he's still there, and somehow there's like a little girl there. And those are the
Not
main.
a little girl.
No, it's never a little girl. So those are the main haunters of that prison.
Okay.
Spooky.
That's spooky.
I feel like it's probably a lot of residuals.
Yeah.
And just, it bugs me that I couldn't find any personal stories, like people that have visited or ghost hunted there.
Yeah.
And that just like, here's what happened. So that was sad.
Yeah.
So if you have any stories, let me know.
You can send stories to us at seancewithmysiblings@gmail.com. Just
Yeah.
so you are aware.
Yeah, if you're listening right now, okay. Side quest. You're
Side
listening to Seance with My Siblings right now. You're going to open your Gmail, unless you're driving, and you're going to send us your ghost story, and you're going to give us all your ghost stories to seancewithmysiblings@gmail.com.
And if you do, I will send you a treat in the snail mail.
The snail
yeah.
mail. You just have to give us an address to send it to.
Yep. Please do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
So that is the haunted Squirrel Cage Jail in The place I said it was in. It's
Period.
also been called I Googled this and I listened to the tribe of the fuck. I don't even have it to look at right now. Anyway, that place has also been named after indigenous people, but now it is called whatever I said it was.
What a mood.
I know.
That's silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's
Cool.
open for tours. They encourage ghost hunts, like you can book it to ghost hunting. So if you're in the
Okay.
area, give it a visit.
Go get haunted.
Was it Michigan? I think now that I'm thinking it was Michigan.
Michigan.
I'm all wrong. I don't know.
I don't know. Did I even write that down in here?
I
probably
don't
didn't.
know. I don't remember.
No.
No.
More.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. You can Google it.
Google.
It is I think that's the only one. There might be 3 total still standing of those Squirrel Cage jails, but this
Ooh,
is the
wow.
only one that has the 3 stories.
That's wild.
Ooh, that is wild.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go look up a picture after this.
It's really cool. I'll do it right now.
Okay.
All right.
We
I
will plug it into the video later if I remember. Okay, Craig, tell us about
Okie
your...
dokie. I'm talking about Alcatraz.
It's in Council Bluffs. Sorry.
Council Bluff.
Where's that? I don't know. Cool. Okay.
No
Yeah.
idea. Hell yeah. Okay. Alcatraz Island is a small island located in the middle of San Francisco Bay. It is known for the Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary. Ooh, sorry, I'm looking at that real quick. Oh, it is pretty.
It's gorgeous.
It is. Very pretty.
Very.
Very pretty.
Very pretty. Okay. This island is best known for the Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary, the Civil War fortress, home to large colonies of brown pelicans,
Ooh.
pop-off pelicans, and
Pelicans kind of scare me.
they're kind of spooky. They
With
have
their
like
mouths. Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
LMAO.
They're big too.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen them eat something?
Yeah, they're like...
They like nom nom nom. Okay.
Oh my god.
Imagine that beak coming at you.
Ooh no.
No, thank you.
And having the first lighthouse in the West Coast. It is known for its famous inmates, the most notorious American criminals, the likes of Al Capone and George Kelly. Here's a little quote. Break the rules and you go to prison. Break the prison rules and you go to Alcatraz.
Ooh.
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Yeah. Most of the convicts that were brought to Alcatraz needed attitude refined and disciplined. The prison was closed in 1963 because of financial reasons. Alcatraz is known to be one of the most haunted places in America. The empty a lot of people say that. Like it's the most like there's this
haunted
most
place
haunted
in
place.
America. Yeah.
Yes. The empty prison cells of Alcatraz are said to be haunted by the restless ghosts of the prisoners that stayed in there. Ghosts of prisoners who had undergone harsh kinds of discipline, so harsh that even the spirits of the most notorious criminals would be broken. In breaking the rules, the prisoners would be sent to the strip cell where they would remove all of their clothes and spend time there with no lights, no sink, no mattress, and only a hole in the ground for the toilet.
That's awful.
So it was like really harsh
And they
conditions.
starved them.
And they treated them
And it was
very
freezing,
awfully.
And you had no blanket. You had nothing. You were just naked.
And you probably had that cool, like, ocean breeze.
Yeah, it was not.
Casting
Yeah.
in.
It was
Yeah.
not like
good.
balmy, beautiful
No.
California weather in your
Little
confinement cell.
cold stone
yeah, it
jail
was
cell.
cold.
Yeah.
It was said that many of the ghosts were the ones who weren't able to move on from Alcatraz to the afterlife because of, like, the harsh conditioning. So they were, like, stuck to that.
I bet there's lots of residual.
Oh, definitely. I got that from medium.com/globetrotters/the ghost of Alcatraz. The Rock and My Scary Silly Magazines.
Oh.
Okay. Cell 14D, one of the most infamous spots in the prison, this chilling cell is associated with an unsettling legend that has intrigued countless visitors. The story goes that an inmate met his untimely demise in this very cell. His screams of sheer terror resonating through the prison as he claimed a malevolent creature was about to claim him. Numerous tourists have reported an inexplicable drop in temperature within this chamber, as if the lingering presence of tormented spirits still roam these grim confines.
I'm pretty sure there's a Supernatural episode based on that.
I think there is. Such a wild show. There's also... Sammy. There's also cells A, B, and C cell blocks. Another must-visit area with Alcatraz is the A, B, and C cell blocks. Many visitors have attested to hearing unnerving sounds of moaning and crying emanating from these blocks. So, lots of disembodied voices, like crying, where some of the prison's most notorious inmates were once confined. Among the eerie tales associated with this area is the presence of the Alcatraz ghost known as the Butcher.
Ooh.
Legend has it that the Butcher met a gruesome end within these very walls in the 1940s. As you explore these blocks, you might encounter echoes of the past, and who knows what otherworldly entities you may come across. So I have a little on the Alcatraz. The Butcher of Alcatraz, never set free even in death. The Alcatraz laundry room is haunted. Years ago, an inmate called the Butcher was murdered in the laundry room. Tall, bald, and squinty-eyed. The Butcher was a hitman for the mafia, so his premature demise probably didn't have anyone in tears, but he made a lot of noise in the laundry room, annoying, really. So...
They were just roasting
yeah,
him.
literally.
This fucking ghost.
So annoying, the park service brought in a medium in the hope she could get the Butcher to leave the island. She tried in a seance. In the prison dining room, she communicated to the Butcher that there were others on the other side that would be able to help him, and that he should follow their voices to the light. The Butcher flatly refused to believe it and chose to stay in the prison, still incarcerated, though being long dead.
I wonder if he is afraid of what is waiting for him on the other side.
Yeah, he's afraid that his actions have consequences.
No, that's a lie.
Nah.
When will you learn that your actions
Have consequences.
Probably never.
Probably never.
probably never?
Because he's trapped in a loop, basically.
He's made his own hell.
yeah,
He sure
literally.
has. That's real sad.
That
That is real sad.
I mean, and he could leave whenever he wanted. Once he realized, once he wants to leave, he'll be free.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to leave yet. That's okay.
That is. The darker layers of Alcatraz's haunting. Alcatraz haunting legends extend well beyond its chilling cells. The island itself carries a haunting history rooted in the curse of Native American tribes who believe the island was a place of malevolent spirits. So the island's already haunted. They warned their people against visiting, lest they be plagued by supernatural disturbances. The island's enigmatic lighthouse adds another layer of eerie tales. Its first keeper, James A. King, was found dead under mysterious circumstances, and some believe his spirit still lingers, causing strange noises and unexplained events around the area. Spectral encounters and unexplained disappearances beyond the spectral apparitions and chilling cold spots. Alcatraz is a place where mysterious disappearances have occurred. Visitors and inmates disappear mysteriously, leaving cold spots and unexplained disturbances.
How are visitors disappearing? I don't like that.
Literally.
What the fuck?
As eerie reminders for of their presence. In a puzzling incident, inmates vanished from cells overnight, later found wandering the prison in a bewildered and disoriented state.
No, I hate that.
Yeah.
I don't
that's
know if I
gross.
believe that.
Yeah, it sounds like they got out, but then they got caught, and they were like,
Oh,
oh
it was the ghost.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't me. Please don't put me in the naked cell.
Yeah.
Please don't put me in solitary confinement. I'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some firmly believe that Alcatraz itself is cursed. Additionally, the unnerving occurrences on the island often serve as a testament to this belief. The island's dark history contributes to the sense that a malevolent force may dwell within its very essence. Paranormal investigators and ghost hunters have flocked to Alcatraz in recent years to capture evidence of ghostly activities. Recordings of eerie sounds and unexplained events have only fueled the legend of Alcatraz as a haunted place.
So that Alcatraz is also like home to a ton of birds. Like it's protected land because of the birds on the land.
The pelicans!
Yeah.
The brown.
And I can't right now remember what tribe, but like now it's the last I heard it's operated by a tribe, like the tours and stuff, because it's tribal land and they want, you know, they're like, hey, this is ours, give it back now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ruined it with a prison, cool thanks.
Yeah.
But there's lots of disputes over the land. And who it belongs to.
Yeah. Was that you?
What are you
No,
doing
sorry,
over
guys.
there?
I just sat my phone down and it was a little loud.
The amount of times we're all like,
What's going on?
It's because you do get noises from over
we
there.
do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Woo.
So I have a story of the man in cell 14D.
Ooh.
One of the most famous ghosts of Alcatraz is that of the man in cell 14D, according to prison guards. This cell was one of the most haunted in the entire prison. Strange phenomena have been reported in the cell, such as the sounds of chains, muffled knocking on the walls. Some guards have even reported seeing a ghostly figure in the cell. It is said that the man who haunts the cell was a prisoner who was placed in solitary confinement in cell 14D for acting violently towards other inmates and prison guards. He was found dead in his cell, apparently from natural causes, but some believe he was murdered. Since his death, his spirit is said to have continued to haunt the cell.
That could be why he stays. He wants someone to solve his murder.
Maybe. I can see that. Unless it was.
It wasn't natural
a
fucking
ghost.
causes.
Yeah.
Because it was like it could have been a cover up.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
oh.
Yeah.
Especially in that prison and like
Right.
those
Especially
circumstances.
someone that is just super violent and just keeps attacking everyone. It'd be like, okay, bye, you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're done.
You're done. The second is the Lady in Green.
Ooh.
Another famous ghost of Alcatraz is that of the Lady in Green. According to reports, this ghostly woman is often seen in the washroom of the former apartment of the prison warden. Located on the Alcatraz Hill, she is described as a woman in her 40s with brown hair and wearing a green dress. It is said that the Lady in Green was the wife of the prison warden who committed suicide on the island with her husband while her husband was working at Alcatraz. Since then, she has been haunting the place and is often seen looking out of the washroom window.
So,
Ooh.
all of the guards and their families also lived on the island. Like, they had housing.
Like
apartments.
things,
Yeah. And it had, like, a movie theater and a dance hall
That's wild.
on the island just for the employees and their families.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
And a third ghostie is the ghost of the Birdman. Is the ghost
Birdman!
of the Birdman of Alcatraz.
Ooh.
The third famous ghost of Alcatraz is that of Robert Stroud, also known as the Birdman of Alcatraz. Stroud spent more than 17 years in solitary confinement at Alcatraz for murdering a prison guard at another facility where he was incarcerated. During his stay at Alcatraz, Stroud raised birds in his cell and became an expert in ornithology. It is said that since his death in 1963, Stroud's spirit haunts the island. Some visitors to Alcatraz have reported seeing a man fitting Stroud's description in and around the former hospital, where he spent most of his time at the prison. And that's from alcatrazexperience.com/free famous ghosts that haunt Alcatraz Island. And I also read some stories where, just like people that like tour the island because you can tour it. They have like a self-guided tour with like audio only. Yeah, just like headphones. And people will report just like hearing voices, like hearing like footsteps, obviously. Like all the pretty typical things that you expect.
But it's like super active.
But
there.
it is super active. Like they hear like the chains, like the rattling, like all the like men like working and walking.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's like, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just super active place.
Wild.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
all I have for y'all's.
Alcatraz is fascinating. I would love to see it one day.
Road trip.
Road trip. Hell yeah.
I just want to go to San Francisco too. So
Yeah. Let's do it someday.
Let's do it.
someday,
Someday. Over the rainbow.
when our princes come. Just
Yes.
kidding. Sorry.
Okay. Is it my turn now?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
You're the last
I'm
to
the
yap.
last one to yap. My brain is pudding. Okay. A brief history of the Shepton Mallet Prison. We're gonna cross the pond for this bad boy.
We're jumping across the pond.
We're in the UK, isn't it?
Net.
Sorry, guys. We love
Everyone's
We
like,
love you. We can't wait to visit you in all your haunted places.
you. Yes. Yes. So, Shepton Mallet Prison, aka Cornhill or the Mallet, is 400 years old and housed the first inmates in 1625. The prison just had its 400th birthday
Goddamn.
on April 4th.
We don't got shit that old over
No.
here in America.
No. Yeah.
that's kind of wild.
That
Yeah.
is wild. That's old
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah. It's an Aries.
Me too.
As we look over at Chantel.
In its earliest years, the conditions of the prison were poor, and prisoners were not usually separated by the seriousness of their crime. This meant that men, women, and children were often held together.
Oh, that's a recipe for horribleness.
Yeah, it was. Beyond the poor conditions, the wages paid to the jailers were poor, and that resulted in lax discipline, promiscuousness, and drunken behavior.
So rape.
Oof.
Yeah,
Lots of rape.
bad things happened here. Don't get me started on the sanitation.
Ugh.
Oh, I can only imagine. Oh, the smells. I would just have to die. I would just be
Yeah.
like, I'm dying now.
This
I
is
don't- I
it.
just can't
This
do
is
it.
I'm dead.
Gross.
There were regular outbreaks of disease within the
How
prison,
could there not be?
leading to numerous deaths. And rather than long prison sentences, those who those who found themselves at the Mallet often received fines, transportation, corporal or capital punishment instead. To make matters worse, in the 1700s, over 200 crimes were punishable by death.
Oh, fuck.
This was
Jeez.
known as the Bloody Code.
We would be dead. We would be put to death.
Very dead. DED.
Dead.
I keep losing my place.
Happens.
The prison was moved in the 1800s as reform of the prison system took place throughout the country. The Victorians began building new prisons and expanding old ones, such as the Shepton Mallet. Hard labor, such as Occam picking. Okay, what do you guys think that is?
Occam picking.
Occam
What is
picking.
that?
Is it like
No, that's what I initially
Occam
thought.
birds out of a tree.
No. So, it is unraveling old terry ropes or cordage.
Oh, yes. And that was usually like women and children were made to do that.
Yes.
And they were housed in the poorest of the poor conditions to do that work.
Ooh.
Yes.
I was listening. Yes, okay, sorry.
You're okay. No, you can tell us.
I
your
just
story if you
heard
want.
it was on Ladies and Tangents. They just, what was her name? A woman that was working to reform prisons and the treatment of prisoners and the treatment of sex workers and try to make sex work safer and legal in the Victorian era. She went into a prison like that and worked with those women, and they're like, you're useless at this. Like, your lily white hands are just useless at undoing these ropes, because she was like a privileged, educated woman in the times where women weren't really allowed to be educated. She was a badass. Like, she was super Christian, and that was problematic, but like, she didn't really have another choice. So like, because of her standing in society, she did a lot to improve women's rights.
hell
Yay,
yeah.
good for her.
And I can't remember her name. Sorry about it.
I don't know. The only name coming to mind of someone that did things similar to that was Dorothea Dix, and that was like mental health.
I don't know.
Anyways, another form of punishment was the crank. What do you guys think
Oh
that
my
is?
god.
I'm only thinking perverted things right now.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
So it's a piece of machinery that served no other purpose than to exhaust and punish a prisoner. It had a handle that prisoners would turn up to 15,000 times a day.
Wow.
So it was like a box on a pole, and you just had to, like, crank it manually. And that was what it was. Okay. And the treadwheel, also known as the treadmill, is a form of engine powered by humans that could raise water, power cranes, or grind grain. So it was literally people walking on, like, a wheel or a mill to make it go.
Turn. Like a hamster wheel
Yes.
to power.
And it was actually the origins of the modern treadmill that people use today.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
To be a form of torture. Just kidding.
The Mallet has an old treadwheel building. It was one of the largest constructions, and its only purpose was to power a mill just outside the prison. In the 1800s, the mid-1800s, the silent and separate systems were introduced. And this was keeping prisoners in complete silence throughout the day and completely separated from one another in single cells, further punishing and breaking down the will of the prisoners. So up to this point, conditions have been really shitty
Real
for
bad.
the patients, prisoners. Public executions were abolished in the UK in 1868, and that led to the closure of both the Ilchester and Towton jails, leaving the Shepton Mallet Prison to become the county jail, and was responsible for overseeing executions. Between 1889 and 1926, 7 men were convicted of murder and were executed in the prison. Their remains were buried within the grounds of the prison, where they still remain to this day.
Ooh.
The prison population started to decline in the 1900s. The last woman left the prison in 1918, and by 1930, the population was 50 male prisoners. Due to the decrease in the population and deterioration of the site, the decision was taken to close the prison in 1930.
Mm-hmm.
But
Uh-oh.
during the beginning of World War II, hi Shadow, the prison reopened to become a British military prison known as the Glass House. That changed in 1942 after the U.S. entered the conflict and took over the prison. During the time, over 700 U.S. servicemen were incarcerated, 16 were hanged, and 2 were executed by firing squad. So through the years, lots and lots of death is going on at this place. Throughout the war, the Old Women's Wing became a top secret repository for National Archives, as 300 tons of records and archive materials were moved from the public record in London for safekeeping. This included items such as the Magna Carta and the Doomsday Book.
Ooh.
Ooh. In 1966, sorry, there's like a hair.
There's hairs everywhere.
The prison was once again turned into a civilian prison. In 2001, the prison was re-rolled as a Category C lifers prison.
Oh shit! And there's still, in 2001, there's still inmates there.
Yes.
Holy
yeah.
shitballs!
So at that point, it was like 370 something years old.
Ooh. So old.
This old. The inmates were held until they were found guilty. The prison was finally decommissioned on the 28th of March 2013.
Wow.
Yeah. So pretty recent.
Yeah.
That is wild.
I mean, for me, 2013 was like yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I'm an old.
The other day.
It was just yesterday.
So yeah, it was closed in a ceremony held in the exercise yard, attended by officers and staff from the past and present.
Oh wow.
Despite the closure of the prison, some of the staff and inmates never left.
They didn't get the memo that it's closed now.
No, they did not.
You don't have to report to work or stay
No.
here being incarcerated. You can go now.
now.
Yeah, you can leave.
So this prison has a white lady.
Is it even anything if it doesn't have a lady in
It's-
some sort of color?
Right,
No.
Exactly.
So Shepton Mallet Prison is widely recognized as the most haunted prison in the world.
I
And
wonder
one of-
if they had a fight with Alcatraz.
Maybe.
That who's more haunted,
Definitely
who would
did.
win.
They-
Like a death match.
yes, fistfights in the parking lot.
They fought it out.
With paranormal activity commonplace throughout the prison, visitors and staff often report sightings and sounds that simply can't be explained. So here's the story of the White Lady. In the 1970s...
The White Lady.
Yeah. A white man! Okay, in the 1970s, the House Office were requested to investigate some strange happenings in one of the wings. An increase in prisoners requesting additional bedding due to cold drought was becoming an issue. And the occasional smell of sweet perfume would waft around the prison. Prisoners were becoming uncomfortable in their cells, and officers started to refuse to work the night shift.
Were they ever comfortable in their cells, though?
Yeah.
Probably not.
But it was
Now
worse.
they're extra
But even
uncomfy.
more
Now they're like, at
uncomfortable.
first it was just physically uncomfortable and stifling because it's a cell, but now it feels haunted.
Oh, great.
The Home Office carried out a 3-day investigation.
Oh.
Results remained inconclusive.
As they do.
As the years passed, new reports were coming in that the droughts... Is that supposed to be drafts?
I think it's supposed to be drafts.
Drought.
The
Drafts.
droughts.
Is that if you're from the UK, DRAUGHTS.
Yeah, drafts.
Yeah.
We would spell it DRAFTS.
AFTS. Drafts.
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 They would continue
America.
to smell the sweet perfume. Some night officers would report seeing shadows and white figures standing on the stairs. I am gonna freaking sneeze.
Bless you.
The allergies are for
They're real
right
bad.
now.
The story of the White Lady was revealed after some research. She had murdered her husband and was brought to the Shepton Mallet Prison for her final days before being hanged in the town center.
Ooh.
The night before her execution, she was offered her final request. She asked to wear her wedding dress. The morning of her
I love it.
execution, slay.
Yeah.
Fucking
Period.
extra.
Slay. She's like the OG Black Widow bride.
Mm-hmm.
The morning of her execution, the door to her cell swung open, and to the surprise of the officers, her lifeless body laid on the bed. Dressed in the wedding dress, the officers silently checked her body for a reason behind her death. No marks were found, and it was concluded she must have died of a broken heart.
Oh.
After she murdered her husband? And
Yeah.
she didn't get away with it? I'd probably be pretty sad too.
Fuck, I didn't do it! I didn't get away with it! She is said to still wander the wings and has been reported to be seen on multiple occasions, and if she isn't seen, the smell of her sweet perfume has been reported to waft through the prison wing.
What if she was innocent? And she was like
was framed.
framed.
Oh, whoever actually did it killed her so she could never spill the beans.
Mm-hmm.
They dipped her dress in arsenic.
Yes.
That's how it happened.
Yeah.
It's like the tell of the white gown. Or
Oh, yeah, from the scary
gown.
stories to tell in
And
the
it's
dark.
got embalming fluid all over it.
Because that would totes kill you.
Yeah. Well, and she danced all night.
All night.
Oh, name?
She was in her jail cell in her wedding dress dancing.
Dancing.
Her last dance.
Yeah.
And the arsenic in the fabric killed her.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Obvious.
It was white, though, not green.
Yeah.
The green arsenic color
Yeah.
that the Victorians loved.
Yes.
Good times.
Good
to
times.
Be a Victorian human.
Yeah. So many ways to die. Anyway.
Fun ways to die, too.
The spirit of a serviceman, believed to be Private Lee Davis, has been frequently sighted, adding another layer to the prison's ghostly atmosphere. Witnessing apparitions are not confined to one area. They have been seen
they can go where
across
they want.
all wings and even on the roof, leaving both staff and visitors with a sense of unease.
Well, if they were a private there, they would have been used to being wherever they wanted in
Yeah,
the building.
they could just go wherever they wanted to go. Unsettling occurrences include doors slamming, as if by an unseen hand, disembodied voices echoing through the halls, and phantom footsteps that follow the unwary.
Ooh.
Some visitors report a physical sensation of being touched, while others suddenly feel unwell. Cold spots are also frequently encountered throughout the prison, adding to the Shepton Mallet's eerie reputation and leaving those who enter with no doubt that they are not alone.
Mm-hmm.
Bum bum bum.
Think we're alone now.
But they're ghosts.
You're never alone.
With ghosties.
Yes.
You will never walk alone. Okay, this is... This is a first-hand account from someone who visited the Shepton Mallet Prison.
I love these.
It's by Rosebud1637 on Reddit.
Reddit.
I'm sorry. That was funny. Hubby and I wed in 2023, and we are both interested in ghost/spooky stuff. So, my
You guys
best...
sound fun.
Yeah, let's be friends. Listen to our podcast. So my bestie bought us a voucher to spend the night in a haunted prison cell at Shepton
that's a
Mallet
good
Prison.
friend.
That is a good friend. Just outside of Bath in the UK. Bath. It was decommissioned in 2013 and is a tourist attraction now. Anyway, we had a tour with a guide in a large group at about 10 p.m. and by 11:30 we were able to walk about on our own.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That
That's
sounds
cool.
fun.
That does sound fun.
I stood in the courtyard watching the crowd disperse and chose an area to explore that no one had entered yet. Or so we thought.
Oh, someone had entered.
Yes.
Bum, bum, bum.
As we entered the gate tower, where the guards would watch over and let vehicles in and out, we heard a male talking, a female giggling, and some banging. Banging!
Oh, Lord.
There was thrusting.
There was.
The wind was thrusting out the window.
It made their knees squirt. Then they got hairy weenuses.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, my.
Sorry.
We climbed the narrow staircase, and when we got to the top, we realized that the room was empty.
There was no thrusting.
No ball sacks.
No giggling.
Don't lie to me through your ball sack!
Lying through your balls.
Oh,
Those
my
lying
God.
ball sacks.
Those goddamn lying ball sacks.
New merch. T-shirts that say those
Lying
lying goddamn ball sacks.
With like balls.
Ghost balls! Ghost balls!
There's
Ghost
a ghost
balls?
in the
A
sheet.
ghost with balls.
But like you can see its balls.
Sheet ghost with like a ball.
Yeah.
bulge.
Yeah.
Yes.
A total weenus outline.
Yes.
LLC. Seance with my...
Oh my god.
Who's ruining this? I'm sorry.
It's okay, it's funny. Good soup.
Good soup.
We climbed the narrow
Stairs.
staircase, and when we got to the top, we realized the room was empty. No doors to another area, no furniture to hide in, under, or behind, and no human to account for the voice we both heard.
I love it. That's because it was a ghost.
It's a ghosty.
Bum, bum, bum. Freaked out, but buzzing, at least I was anyway, we found our tour guide chatting with other members of staff. I asked if one were to hypothetically go into the gate tower, would there be any way to hear talking, banging from any other area? He told us no. The second floor in the adjacent building was offices and had long closed. I explained what we heard, and the guide's colleagues told us they had over 1,000 entries of voices heard in that space.
Oh, very active area.
Very active area. We were treated to our cell in the early hours of the morning.
For a romantic evening.
Some wind banging and squirting knees.
When baby.
No, it was thrusting. Oh.
What are we?
Hooligan.
Hooligans is for sure.
We literally, I'm a 12-year-old boy sense of humor.
Same.
I blamed my husband for letting... Oh, wait. I skipped some parts.
I was like, what are we blaming him now?
We were... for the squirting knees. We were treated
It was
to our...
Interesting one. And lying through his balls.
Ooh, okay. Composure, composure, composure. We were treated to our cell in the early hours of the morning, as we had to be out by 7 a.m., and we had traveled several hours to be there. As we got out of bed, 2 sleeping bags on an air mattress under 2
Sexy.
metal bed
Oof.
frames that I definitely hit my head on during the night.
Ouch.
I blamed my husband for letting off the eggiest fart I had ever smelled.
Oh, Peter, no.
Sulfur.
But he denied having done anything. And the man-child loves a fart, so I totally believed him. They say ghosts can leave a foul smell.
Right?
Some can.
Don't walk through them.
Don't
Yeah.
walk through them. Yeah. Especially what Isaac has
Yes, Isaac. And if you don't want to be stoned, don't walk through flour.
Yeah, don't walk through flour.
I'd walk through flour.
We know you would walk
We
through
know.
flower, Chantal. That was as exciting as our experience got. Another woman had an encounter in the execution wing, and there are many more stories of ghosts, including the Cray twins. If you're in Bath or are planning a visit to the west of England,
Twins.
I highly recommend the overnight stay.
That sounds good. I
That
think
does
we should
sound
go.
good. Let's go.
Let's go to there.
Let's cross the pond.
I think it would be really fun to do like the Fear Factory, like they do like night
The
investigations.
overnight investigations, yeah.
I want to do an overnight investigation. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. These were good. These guys were not good guys, but the story, their story, the Cray twins' story,
Is wild.
is good. I think Ladies in Tangents covered them, too.
Oh, I will have to listen to that.
I just listened to their story. That's why it sounded so familiar. And I think it was Ladies in Tangents. Tangents. I could be wrong.
Same.
I don't know. I'm sorry. Okay. Honestly, like, the history of the prison itself and, like, all the awful things that happen there are a lot scarier to me than the ghosts.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah. If I had been in those times and had been imprisoned there, I would be like, let's just get some cholera up in this bitch and
Yeah.
die.
Cholera pit.
Yeah.
Collar.
Or whatever was going around
Yeah.
during the time I was there. I'd be like, I just am going to die. I'm noping out. I'm opting out. I'm going to get a disease and pass away.
Yeah. Seriously. Just go lick someone's festering wound.
Maybe not that, but I would lay real close to them and snuggle.
Yeah. Snuggle up.
Be like, we'll just make out for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, make
Yeah.
out.
I've got a mouth sore. Might be cholera.
Oh god.
That's cool, man.
What do you guys think, though?
That is wild. That's cool. What was? Say it again. What was it called? The prison.
The Shepton Mallet Prison
Shepton Mallet Prison.
Shepton Mallet.
in UK.
We need to go to there by
We
Bath.
do need to go to
I would
there.
love to go to
By
Bath. I've heard lovely things about Bath.
I would love to travel to the United Kingdom. My accent's real bad.
I thought it sounded pretty okay.
For my American, Sam Pete American
Sam
ears.
All of us.
My son's drum teacher is in California, and he told Luke on Tuesday, he's like, you have an accent.
Yeah, there's definitely a Utah accent.
Oh, yeah. And then there's a specific Sam Pete.
There is a Sam
North
Pete
Sam Pete
accent.
and South Sam Pete have different accents.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Wild.
Yeah.
So people listening to us are probably like, yeah, you definitely,
definitely
have an
have an
accent. And we're like,
accent.
no, we don't.
What's an accent?
What's an act? An
accent? A
Mountain.
Sam Pete accent.
What'd you say that for?
Y'all, we don't got no accent.
We went to the store by the mountains.
Cross the creek.
Cross the creek.
Rough.
Oh, brother.
Had to clean my chimberly, or my chimney.
Chimley.
Chimley. Who was it? Our great-grandparent, one of them used to say Chimberly.
Chimberly.
And I was like, how? How
what does
do
that
you
mean?
even get that from that?
Chimney, Chimberly. Close enough.
Same thing.
Same difference.
It's spelled exactly the same.
Exactly. There's not a single difference.
No.
The burly is silent.
Yeah.
That's a silent burly.
It's a silent burly.
Silent burly.
Is that what you want? Is that what you look for in a man?
A
silent burly. And Craig says as long as he's got a hairy chest and squirting knees.
And a lying ball sack.
And lying ball sack.
He lies through his ball sack.
Oh my.
I think I've had some dudes lie to me through their ball
Yeah.
sacks before.
That's all they love to do.
Oh, brother.
gosh. Hello, this has been Seance with My Siblings. Thank you for
Yes.
joining the seance.
Thank
Yeah.
Watch our little faces yap at you on YouTube.
Yeah. If you want to see our beautiful visage, check us out there on YouTube, like Shandy just said.
Watch our TikToks. We're on Bluesky.
And Tumblr and
Facebook.
Facebook and Instagram. The gram.
The gram. At Seance with My Siblings.
Yeah, and
Seance
send
with
us
My
your ghost stories or cryptid encounters or
Send
ideas
us
for things
anything.
you and please.
You just want to say hi. You want to tell us how you're doing. You want to check in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just send it to us.
Send it to us at seancewithmysiblings@gmail.com.
And we might just have Shandy take her little fingies
My little meat mitts.
and gather some surprises
Some
Surprises.
treats.
and shove them in a little
an
box or
envelope.
envelope
However I deem they must be shipped.
and send them right to your face.
Yep. Directly at your face.
Directly
Into
It'll
your
come
face.
flying.
The male person's just going to
They're gonna
throw it at you. They're going to yeet it into your face hole.
Tell us where to yeet your mail, and we'll do it.
I will do it.
We will do it.
I'm real good at shipping things.
Yes.
Anyway.
Anyway, thanks
Thanks,
for
guys.
listening.
Yeah,
Wave
thanks
at
for
Thank you,
the
listening.
everyone. We love you.
Love you.
In a
In a-
way that we don't know you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Don't let your knee squirt.
Don't let my knee squirt you.